Does that look, that's full screen, right? Okay. Well, hello everyone, and I really want to thank you all for coming here tonight. I believe we're all on nighttime. Welcome to our weekly Thursday night talk show, Balanced by Design with Pi and LJ. Each week we explore wellness from a new angle and help you understand the numbers and the science behind your health challenges, your pain, and your imbalance. We're going to offer you a simple life-changing solution that will help bring you back into balance, your physical, your mental harmony. Together, we'll explore how to move from surviving to thriving with real conversations, heart-centered support, and powerful tools that are going to restore your inner balance. Tonight, we're focusing on mental wellness, finding balance within after depression, stress, and anxiety. So tonight, I'm going to share with you my personal story and my experience with my mental health victory. I call it from surviving to thriving, my gut, my emotions, and my healing. So who am I? For those who don't know me, my name is Lori Jane Bolton. I go by LJ to my friends. My passion is about sharing breakthrough natural solutions that our bodies can understand and use to bring us back to healthy living. I'm known as the holistic angel of wellness and wealth, and I'm also a mother, a widow, a sister, an aunt. I'm a divorcee. I'm a business owner. I'm a certified financial planner. I'm a teacher. I'm a guide, and I'm a dog mama. These are all roles that I juggle every single day, like most of us. And you know what I realized is I've been hiding behind all these masks just to survive. And when you ask yourself, or been asked, who am I really? They don't show who what I call my soul is. All these titles are a part of me, but they're not the whole me. So for years, I have showed up for everyone every day. I appear happy, successful, trustworthy, but inside I often feel off. I never feel like I fit in sometimes or normal. I get exhausted. I feel lost. I have anxiety, and I never feel good enough. Then I was forced to stop pretending and start healing and find my voice. So the mask we want the world to see. I really looked like I have it all together. But I'm actually anxious, I'm stressed, I tire, I'm numb, sometimes I'm lonely. I pour into others, which lifts me up, and oftentimes I leave nothing for myself. I blamed myself a lot for things that weren't mine to carry. I saw I was aging faster, feeling hormonal, weak, oftentimes a failure. But then I started to question that narrative. Maybe I wasn't broken at all, and the root cause is inside my gut. It all came crashing down for me on September 21st, 2021. I had to admit I was having a mental meltdown. My actual breakdown was real, and I couldn't ignore myself anymore. I still remember how I felt at that moment. I was stuck. I was frozen in time. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. I was in a full panic mode all the time. When I slowed down and had to focus on my health, I learned something that changed my life that day. With 90% of our feel-good hormone in our gut, I realized that my happiness and my recovery was available to me once I started paying attention. My gut was in balance or out of balance. My mood swings, my cravings, my weight gain. I wasn't being lazy or weak. I was actually very inflamed and disconnected from my own body. I coped by eating excessively, lots of bad foods, and drinking wine daily. It caused me to spiral even deeper. But then when I learned about the microbiome, that changed everything for me. So take a look at all these pills. This is the bag, and the bag that's left there is the last prescription that I filled in April of 1994. I told my doctor that I wanted to stop and try to do this naturally because the pills weren't working. They were numbing the symptoms, but they weren't making me any better. These were what I took to get me through the day, and they didn't fix my mental state. So here's basically my healing journey. So let's look at the photos on my journey. First, I was so stressed every minute with my life and myself. I was overweight, and I actually reached the heaviest ever in my life that I said I was never going to get to. I was feeling like a failure with each pound that I gained. I really didn't care what I was eating because it wasn't helping me. I was eating and drinking to numb the pain and just to exist, to survive. And I was actually on my way to a slow death. My hair was falling out by the handfuls, and I have beautiful thick hair. So it was this curly mess. I didn't even blame it on a perm. I had also a chance to share my life again with somebody, and I had fallen in love. I planned my dream wedding at one of my favorite hotels on the beautiful Caribbean Sea in the Dominican Republic. I was planning to retire at the age of 55 and move there to be able to operate my global wealth and wellness business, the benefit of having a home-based business. But the stress turned even worse for me when I found out about my husband's infidelities, the family he created, the lies, and the real intentions. All at the same time, I had to walk away from my 25-year career as a certified financial planner. I let down my clients. I literally lost my entire identity, and it's a distinct difference from where it is today. I was still drinking every day just to get through, not enough to call myself an alcoholic. I tried to show up for others and be myself, to look happy, to be funny, as everyone knew me. I can be cute and silly sometimes. That is a true glimmer of who I am. I got myself a third puppy who needed to be loved. So once again, I felt like I had someone who needed me, who loved me, and he was actually sent to save my life. At this time, I came to know that my daughter had her own serious mental issues, and how easy I had missed it because I worked a corporate job 60 to 80 weeks or hours a day. And I lost the connection to even realize that the struggles and signs she was showing, she had her own depression. I am so grateful that God has given me the opportunity to be home right now, to be able to be with her when she needs me, to work when I need to balance home life, and I get a second chance to be a mother. So we're both creating miracle or memories together, and as adult women now. In August of 2024, I noticed that my digestion and the constipation was through the roof. I've never experienced anything like this before. I had been trying to lose the weight since February of 2024, and I actually have released 40 pounds. I still need to lose some more. 2 years prior, I had learned about a company called Love Biome. And at the time, it wasn't something that I felt that I needed. I didn't want another product. I didn't want another business. But at this time, my body was in so much distress, I decided to take a different look at it because I do research. And in March of this year, on my birthday, I upgraded to the P84 system. I love that it's science-backed. It balances your microbiome, and it's natural. It had everything in it that I needed. And I'm always looking for natural breakthrough that heals us naturally. I also added a couple of their targeted probiotics. I needed the C for my brain health, my anxiety, my stress, and my sleep. They have a weight loss power pack, which I added, and my pounds started to drop again. So I've since regained my energy, My mood is stabilized. I'm a happier person. I have a purpose. I'm sleeping better. I actually feel like me again. It didn't happen overnight for me, but it is happening. So now I'm more connected, I'm calm, and I'm real. I trust myself, my body, my mind, and my heart. Oftentimes, a lot of people don't understand what a holistic angel of wealth and wellness. I'm just going to quickly share in case anybody here needs what I do on the side. So to basically be the holistic angel of wealth and wellness, I believe in treating your whole body, the whole person, the mind, the body, the emotions, and the spirits. So my mission is to help others reclaim their health, find their joy, increase their faith, and enjoy freedom, whether it be time or money, and enjoy a life inside and out, building relationships that are authentic. And I want to see you succeed in every area of life. We aren't meant to suffer in silence. We are meant to shine and light up our souls for others. So let me ask you a couple questions. Are you feeling tired during the day or all the time? Maybe you're bloated after you eat certain foods. You crave sugar and comfort comfort foods, even when you're not hungry, those nighttime munchies. Are you struggling with your weight? Maybe you have anxiety. You're not feeling like yourself. If you see yourself in my story or anything here, it's okay. No, you're not alone. It's not what's been told to me. This is just a part of life. It actually may be that your microbiome needs to be rebalanced. So let's do that together. So now that I have shared my story, shared my heart, I hope that I can help someone here tonight, empower you to speak to someone if you're suffering, or if I'm available for anybody who needs an ear to hear. So I want to now introduce you to someone who's very special to me, someone who's been walking his own healing path. He has a brilliant mind for numbers and science. And I thought I had it there. So just 1 second, because I want to edify him perfectly. So pi ratio, he is a storm walker. He's a quiet listener. He's a truth sharer. Pi doesn't speak just to be heard. He speaks to stir what's real. What he's lived, he also offers. Not to impress you, but he wants to wake up the room. So here I would like to invite my co-host, Pi Ratio, to take over and show us the magic.
Wow.
Oh, and stop my share. There we go.
Hey, thank you, LJ. Not just for opening today's session, but for opening your heart. It takes courage to stand where you stood, to speak not from the surface, but from your scars. Your honesty has set the tone for truth, and truth is where we're heading, where healing begins. Your words remind us that wellness isn't a destination, it's a return to self, to balance, to what the body has been whispering all along. Now, with deep respect and gratitude, I now want to build on what you've shared by exploring the system behind the symptoms, the gut-brain connection, and what it really means to reset from the inside out. So I want to ask you all a question. Have you ever been blindsided by something you didn't see coming? Not a loud crash, but a quiet, unraveling pause. Well, that was me. A man chasing sunlight in Bermuda. what I'd done, I'd escaped the grind, but paradise, right, doesn't come without a price. And my body started cashing checks I hadn't written. Now, this isn't a pitch, it's a pattern. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's the thing. Because the body is always speaking. The question is, are we listening? So let me take you on a journey from illness to insight, from silence to signal. And let's decode the equation your body's been trying to solve. That being said, I want to share my screen and I want to dive into this presentation. So, okay, here we go. So, the silent equation, the microbiome's secret role. Now, when Bermuda called, it felt like salvation, peace, escape. But trust me, it wasn't a postcard. It was a prelude, a slow motion warning, which I didn't know about. Weight was melting off me, not in the gym, but in the shadows. My sleep, fragmented. My mind, short fused, spinning. I thought I rationalized that I was stressed, jet lag, midlife malaise, whatever we want to call it. But excuses are a poor substitute for answers. And the answers came all at once. Gut imbalance, liver distress, circulation issues, prostate issues, whispering threats. My body had become a battleground. Then came a turning point. A simple suggestion, a supplement, not a miracle, but momentum. A slow realignment, not a quick fix, a foundation. This is the silent equation. It starts with whispers and it ends with sirens. But if you listen early enough, it can actually save your life. So here's a question as we go down the rabbit hole. Each one of us wears a face, the one the world sees, and the one in the mirror. So tell me, who do you see? Are you the cautious cat, hiding your fire, waiting to be picked? Or are you the lion, quiet but potent, waiting not for permission, but for purpose? Health, wealth, success, they all rise or fall on identity. I didn't know this. If you see yourself as breakable, you break. If you see yourself as becoming, you build. The lion isn't gone within us. He's waiting. So the question is, are you ready to let out the lion? That's the question. So let's dig deeper. Let's go down the rabbit hole. What do you actually want for your health? Not talking six packs or step counts, but purpose. Do you want stamina to show up for your children? Freedom from the weight your parents carried? A body that doesn't betray you at 50? Real goals come from real values. And values come from knowing that you matter, that you care about yourself. Once you're able to do that, you can define the outcome, but more importantly, you can define your why. Because currently, we are giving somebody else's purpose away. That being said, when we enter a room, do people actually see who we are? or are we wearing a mask? And does the mask project a smile, a swagger? But not all of it is real. Why do we wear the mask? You can't grow behind the curtains, right? You know this. So what are we hiding? The question is, are we ready to step out of this mask? Because when people see us, they think that we project that we are doing well, we are healthy, we are prosperous, we are financially secure. And unless we speak to that person and dig deep, we really don't have a clue exactly what is going on. So the question is, what are we hiding? What are you all hiding? Each and every one of you. What have you numbed down? Are you ready to step out? Are you ready to unmask? Because the strongest people aren't the ones who pretend best. They're the ones who heal loudest. When I put this slide together, it really conjured up some thoughts, situations that I've been in, and I'm wearing a mask. People are thinking one thing of me when other things are actually going on. This is about bearing the S on our chest. And when it comes onto illness, that's the rabbit hole that we are going down. Now, this isn't hype, family. It's a health crisis, and it's disguised in silence. People are dying, not with noise, but with nods and neglect. Mental health. 75% of suicides are male. UK men are 3 times more likely to die by suicide. Depression in men doesn't look like tears. It looks like sarcasm, anger, alcohol, avoidance. That's just men. That is just men. And I'm highlighting men because many of us as men bury our head in the sand. Mental health affects women more than men. One in 3 men over 40 in the UK has metabolic syndrome, which is a mix of belly fat, high blood pressure, cholesterol, chaos, blood sugar imbalances. I say this to say, men, you are not excluded. Women seem to know where it's at. Look at the ratio on this platform this evening. 70% of our immune system lives in our gut. 90% of your serotonin is made there, whether you're a man or a woman. Blood, sugar, inflammation, fat metabolism, all gut-driven. Balance your gut or brace for breakdown. Everything all starts there. I put this slide up to say, there's a population of 970 million people, approximately, which is enormous. That's more than the total population of most countries and comparable to a continent. If all of those people were grouped in one place, it would be the 3rd largest continent. Population comparison to mental health issues, Europe, 750 million. North America, 600 million. Africa, 1.5 billion. Asia, 4.7 billion. Latin America and the Caribbean, 660 million. The list goes on. India, 1.4 billion and rising. China, 1.4 billion and rising. United States, 335 million and rising. So if 970 million people are affected by mental health conditions, that's more than an entire continent like Europe or North America. That's close to a third of Africa's population. That's about 1 in every 8 people on the planet. When you start putting the numbers together, you realize one of those numbers could be you. This scale makes it a global crisis, not a national issue. And if we were grouping this as a region, we'd be referring to something larger than any single continent except Asia. That's how big this is. All right. That being said, they say the worst pain is visible, like amputation, heart failure, but numbers don't lie, and they certainly tell a different story. The biggest global disability is depression. Not the wound you see, but the fog you feel. 280 million people moving through life with a weight no one can see. Hence the reason why I put that slide up about the mask. We have no idea what each and every one of us is really going through. But the world keeps telling us to push through, keep going. But how do you push when the pressure isn't on you, it's inside you? Depression isn't drama, it's biology, chemistry, and mathematics. And here's what they don't teach. It starts in the gut. As I mentioned before, 90% of serotonin, which is your mood stabilizer, is made in your gut, not your brain. When the gut is inflamed, the signal to the brain is, we are not safe. So the brain then shuts down, the body follows, and the light dims. That suggests that the brain functions off of signals. And where do those signals come from? They come from the gut. But the brain and the gut do not speak the same language. That's why you have the vagus nerve, which is the interpreter between the two, so that the brain can speak to the gut and it has that interpreter in the middle, so to speak, simplifying it. So we don't need hype. We need a collaboration. Because if we fix the gut, we restore the signal, which brings us back to clarity. Because I want to share something with you, family. Healing isn't mystical. I'll say it again. Healing is not mystical. It's measurable. Why is it measurable? Well, when a diagnosis is made, the doctor or whoever prescribes something for you. And they say, take this for however long, X amount of time. So you're able to measure. But if you're taking medications for year on top of year on top of year, and you're not seeing any resolution, you're being conditioned that what you have is mystical and not measurable. I mentioned about mental health. Well, the mental health challenges amongst women in both the UK and the US are significant and multifaceted, and it's influenced by factors such as age, life stage, and social pressures. And without going too deep, in 2024, 18.5% of women reported experience of poor mental health compared to 12% men. This is in the UK. In the US, 23% of adults experience mental health. That's equating to nearly 60 million individuals. That's not me saying this. I couldn't make this up if I tried. You all can do your own research. Gut health drives brain health, inflamed gut. That combination is equal to unsafe brain, unsafe, which gives you shutdown mode. So in other words, if you fix the gut, reclaim the signal, clarity will accompany you once again. Diabetes. I'm skimming through these because I could go on all night. Every 7 seconds, diabetes claims a life. Once you start to put numbers to it, it becomes tangible. Every 7 seconds, diabetes claims a life. In the UK, 4.4 million people affected. Men, 26% more likely to get hit by diabetes. And if it's not about sugar, it's about inflammation, metabolic loads, and the gut's inability to regulate. You can reverse this, but you cannot ignore it. This is not me saying this, family. These are facts that we can all look up. And I'm just skimming the surface because I want to give you the numbers to make this tangible. You see, cholesterol, it doesn't shout, it sneaks. 77% of men in the UK aged between 45 and 64 have elevated cholesterol. That's not stats, that's us. Clogged arteries, erectile dysfunction, strokes, it all starts there. And it's gut mediated. So your gut microbiome processes fat, clears waste, and regulates hormones. So again, fix the gut, protect the heart. And when you check it, it's really a simple equation. Cancer. Now, family, I need you to understand something. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm a simple soul who is intrigued by patterns and numbers. And what I learn, I apply the patterns and numbers to it. And what I glean from that is what I share. And what I share, one can do their own research on. So just so that I'm very clear, I'm speaking from a mathematical perspective. But the reason why I do this is because numbers don't lie. Whereas we humans may tell a little porcupine now and again, numbers, they don't lie. So if we use numbers, ultimately, we will access a level of truth. Cancer. In the UK, 1 in 5, 1 in 2 men will get cancer. 1 in 5 women, population, 1 in 2 cancer. UK men have a 40% higher mortality rate than women. So why do we delay? Why do we ignore? Why do we deny? lung cancer, liver cancer, they're all preventable. They're all detectable. Even prostate. But we need to check in, not check out. And again, the gut plays a role from detox pathways to immune surveillance. Family, it actually matters. Once you put the numbers to this, there's no hiding place. None whatsoever. Dementia. In both the UK and the US, dementia is now one of the leading causes of death. But if I told you that how old you are biologically may matter more than how many candles are on your birth cake, what would you say? Well, we have to look at the numbers. Recent figures show that when a person's biological age, measured by things like lung function, blood pressure, and cholesterol, outpaces their actual age, their risk of developing dementia increases by what? Around 30%. That's not fate. That's physiology catching up with poor habits. The gut-brain axis, the communication highway between your digestive system and your brain, is central to this. An imbalanced gut microbiome has been linked to chronic inflammation, poor nutrition, and neurodegeneration. So in short, a sick gut accelerates aging and the brain pays the price. So let's put the numbers behind this, because talk is very cheap. When we say a gut imbalance, there are numbers that we can use. And the numbers currently out there suggest that if we have a 80% to 20% good bacteria ratio to bad bacteria ratio, we are doing swimmingly. We are doing fine. Now, I'm oversimplifying when I say 80% good, 20% bad, because none of the bacteria is bad when it's got that ratio, because they're all doing good, even the bad ones. And it's no different in mathematics when you have negative numbers and positive numbers. Negative numbers serve their purpose, because without negative numbers, you could not measure the weather. So they all carry a purpose. And so whatever we deem to be negative bacteria in our system is actually doing good. But when I was ill, that ratio was totally flipped. It was 45 good, 55 bad. Total imbalance. So it's really important that we understand that it's only when we apply the numbers to these things, that the truth begins to ring home. In the UK, around 1 in 11 people over 65 has dementia. That's nearly 1 million people, a figure expected to double by 2040. In the US, more than 6.7 million Americans live with Alzheimer's. And 2/3 of those are women. Studies suggest women are at twice the risk due to hormonal and immune-related differences that may also influence gut health. So to show you how complicated a woman is, just do the maths. But biological age can be reversed, not by magic, but by movement, mindful eating, stress reduction, and sleep. Reset your gut and you begin to reset your brain. It's no different than a computer. You have a number of applications open, and after a while, the memory seems to malfunction and it's not functioning the way it should. Doesn't matter how you speak to it. Doesn't matter what you click on or click off. The only way to get it moving again, you have to reset the machine, which recalibrates the files, which adjusts the memory, puts the thing back in alignment. And when it comes back on, it functions as if there wasn't a problem. Your gut microbiome is exactly the same. It was designed by somebody who was something that was so precise, which is the one. Only the one could have designed our gut microbiome, because there's no computer on this planet that could even mimic it. That being said, we've been given all the tools to look after it. And one of them is a reset button. All right? So as I said, it's not magic. And the reset can take place. But the journey, it begins with your next bite, your next breath, your next night of proper rest. So, your gut microbiome. Now, every illness we've covered started with a whisper. The gut doesn't just digest food. It regulates everything. Your mood, your hormones, immunity, blood sugar, inflammation. So this is the silent equation. Gut imbalance equals whole system chaos. Now this is your call to tune in, to heal the gut, to heal the person. 5 chronic conditions: depression, diabetes, high cholesterol, cancer, dementia. Different labels, same origin. The gut, as I mentioned before, 70% of your immune system, gut. 90% of your serotonin, your gut. Blood sugar regulation, your gut. Fat metabolism, your gut. Chronic inflammation, the gateway to disease, your gut. So the gut is not a tube. It's the motherboard, the control tower. In a computer, you have a motherboard, which was designed from the woman. Why do I say this? Because if you look at the motherboard of a computer, every component, whether it be your hard drive, whether it be a microphone, whether it be speakers, whether it be memory, whether it be extra power, where do they all sit? They have to sit on the motherboard. All of those components have to sit on the motherboard. So it doesn't matter how powerful a processor is, if it's not connected to the motherboard, it's not going to work. And all of the other components. And that is the central processing unit. That is your microbiome. So as I mentioned, the gut is not a tube. It's the control tower. So when your microbiome is off, the system glitches and it echoes everywhere. Brain fog, joint pain, mood swings, sugar crashes, silent inflammation. Family, this isn't pseudoscience. This is modern biology catching up with ancient truth. Depression isn't always emotional. Diabetes doesn't just begin with sugar. Heart disease isn't just generic. Cancer doesn't just come from luck. Sometimes the signals start low, buried in the belly. And when you fix the foundation, you don't just feel better, you become better. Over 2,000 years ago, a Greek physician named Hippocrates uttered words that still echo through every corridor of modern medicine. All disease begins in the gut. Hippocrates, often called the father of medicine, understood something that science is only now catching up to. And that is that health is a system, not a symptom. And the gut is its silent architect. So long before lab coats and MRI scans, he taught that food was not just substance, but medicine. Lifestyle, not luck, was the foundation of well-being. Now, in an age ruled by data and diagnostics, his ancient wisdom still reminds us the root of wellness begins within. So this ain't no Instagram, this ain't no podcast. This is just a man watching nature, noticing what? Patterns, and dropping truth bombs before we had the science to prove them. He practiced medicine in ancient Greece, in a world that blamed demons for disease. But he knew better. All diseases have roots. Every number has a root. The body can heal. And the gut was the gateway. So all disease begins in the gut. He said it first. Today, research on microbiomes, immunity, even depression, it all loops back to what Hippocrates knew. You want to heal? It doesn't start with pills. It starts with what? Patterns. How you eat, move, rest, and breathe. So the future of medicine, it's ancient, but it's now making a comeback. And these are the words of Hippocrates, quoted over 2,000 years ago, and they still stand the test of time. But thousands of years ago, Hippocrates taught us that all disease begins in the gut, as I mentioned. And that was a bold statement. But it's now echoed in research across the globe. But what he couldn't have known, but what he now understands, is that the gut is not just a digestive machine. As I mentioned, it's a command center, deeply wired to our brain, our mood, our memory, and even our immune system family. So the gut isn't just where food is broken down, it's where health begins, or unravels, as we say. But here's the thing. The gut doesn't need rescuing. It needs support. It already knows what to do. It was made that precisely. But it has to be given the right tools. And that's where Love Biome steps in. Not as magic, not as a magical fix, but as an ally. Now, these aren't just probiotics thrown into a capsule. This is targeted, functional nutrition, designed to nourish your microbiome so it can do what it's always meant to do: protect you, heal you, and keep you in balance. Now, the Love Biome products like Phyto, Nex, and the Power Series are rich in prebiotics, phytonutrients, and smart blends that create the ideal environment for your microbiome to thrive. I say this to say that each formula works with the body, not against it. There are many medicines that we're prescribed, that we take, that does a level amount of good. But the bad that it often does, we can't compensate. So when I say that these products work with the body, not against it, it's supporting not just the gut health, but total body resilience. Now, in a world of noise, Love Biome offers clarity, rooted in nature, backed by science, and aligned with ancient wisdom. Because the healing starts, or should I say, it doesn't start with treatment. It starts with listening to our bodies, honoring its system, and feeding it with what it actually needs. Now, before you light up with energy, clarity, and calm, your gut decides. I'll say that again. Before you light up with energy, clarity, and calmness, your gut decides. Love Biome doesn't choose systems, it targets the system. Your gut microbiome, backed by biology, rooted in soil, designed for synergy. That's what your microbiome is all about. These products are sourced from 6 continents, where we've pulled nature's most powerful tools together to rebuild our gut terrain, rebalance immune and metabolic flow, recharge our mental, physical, and emotional circuits. We have the Daily 3, which is prebiotics, probiotics, and polyphenols, and rejuvenates, greens, plus adaptations and detox and drive. I could go on and on about all of these products, but one has to go further down the rabbit hole to find out more. But there's a product here for every need that we may have. Sugar blocker, for calmness, for energy, for hydration, for your immune system, for fat burning, for weight management, and for realigning and balancing the gut. But here's the thing. We're talking about the system reset because all of those products are brilliant. But if you're planting a seed in soil that is not rich, it's not going to grow. So the soil needs to be dealt with. That's your microbiome. It needs to be addressed. And Hippocrates gave a blueprint. And now that we have the tech, we finally caught up with ancient wisdom, with tools that can match the complexity of the body. But the question now isn't what, it's why now? Why now? I tell you why now. Because chronic fatigue isn't normal. Because mental fog, poor sleep, low mood, these are signals, not shortcomings. And because our gut has been trying to tell us this for years, P84 isn't here to make you feel better. It's here to make you whole. It's not a supplement, it's a reset. Why now? Because comfort is seductive, but it's often just familiar imbalance. Why now? Because healing has a window, and the longer you wait, the further the body drifts from its blueprint. Why now? Because the data is in inflammation, neurodegeneration, immunity, cognition. They all trace back to the gut. Now, as I mentioned, P84 is built for this moment, and the clock isn't lying. This is a product that has been sourced from 6 continents, and it's combining the best nature has to offer with what your microbiome actually needs. Not just probiotics, not just pre or pro or postbiotics, the complete cycle of microbiome support. This is about gut-brain clarity. Once you are aware that the gut speaks to the brain via the vagus nerve, it makes things more tangible. It really, really does. Your brain just functions off of signals. Don't take my word for it. All right? So the more serotonin, less stress. More sleep, sharper thoughts. Resilience where you need it most. So that's about immune intelligence. A stronger gut wall reduces inflammation. A community of microbiomes that protect you. So P84 is not the quick fix if you're looking for a quick fix. You know what it is? It's a deep fix. The flag planted at the start of your realignment. So you don't need another pill. You need a protocol. So you start from the inside and you build everything else on that. Now, if you're hearing about this product for the first time, I can appreciate your skepticism. But everything must be underpinned by numbers for you to make it tangible. This product, you have to take it for a minimum of 120 days. Minimum. In some cases, 160 days minimum. Why? Because this is the amount of time it takes for your red blood cells to renew itself. So it allows this product to be able to go through your system. So by the time the blood is renewed, basically you've got a clear system running through. You should see results prior to the 160 stroke 120 stroke 160 days. Some takes longer than others. As I mentioned previously, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm just a soul seeking knowledge and applying numbers to it. I have been on the daily 3 and transgressed to the 84, the P84. And so I know the benefits that this product gives. And I can only speak for myself and obviously the testimonies that have come my way. But I'm speaking from myself. When I was losing weight, I thought I had cancer. I thought I was going to die. I was afraid. I was a scared soul. And it was only when I went and had a blood test, a blood scan, and all the rest, that it came back that I had a leaky gut, an imbalanced gut, and it was causing all of these knock-on effects. And I thought, what? And when this product was put in front of me, I thought, these people are having a laugh. I was one of the biggest skeptics going at the time. I'm only here today because I know the product works, because I've used it. I'm only here today to share what I know. And if I can enlighten one person who is not feeling too well, who's going through changes and they've got their head buried in the sand, I can testify that if you don't currently have a solution, then you have nothing to lose by investing in your health and by going onto this product for a period of time and then watch the changes as they manifest. Now, that being said, every good product, I call it a system, is underpinned by numbers. It says here that phytopower 1 plus 2 is equal to 84. So before we even go any further as to how good the product is, we have to understand the numbers. Because how does 1 plus 2 equal 84? Well, let's go down the rabbit hole, shall we? Alrighty. Now, once you enter the phytopower world, everything moves exponentially. What do I mean? Well, I simply mean that numbers are raised to the power of. Because in your gut microbiome, there are trillions and trillions of bacteria and everything else in there. So to add those up and to work out things within there linearly, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 will take you a lifetime. So we have to use a system, a numbering system, that allows us to count numbers quickly. And in mathematics, it's raising a number to a power. So how do we get 84 from 1 plus 2? Because fundamentally, there are only 9 numbers. Well, the number 2, if you raise that to the power of 6, and how do you do that? Well, the way you raise it to the power of 6 simply means you times it by itself 6 times. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 equals 64. Now we know that our total is 84. So if we take 64 from 84, we will get the number for number 1. So 64 from 84 will give us 20. So in the phytopower world, that 1 is equal to 20 and that 2 is equal to 64. So therefore, 1 plus 2 is equal to 20 plus 64, which is equal to 84. That's how you get the P84. But here's the caveat. There are only 9 numbers. And so we want to get to the root of that 84 because that's a mystical number in all senses. It's a combination number because there are only 9 numbers. So 8 plus 4 will give you 12. Well, 12 is a compound number because there are only 9 numbers. So 1 plus 2 will give you 3. That's the beauty about this system. It goes around 360 and reveals truth. 1 plus 2 is 3, but 1 plus 2 is also equal to 84 in the phytopower world. So you're getting truth aligned with esoteric truth. And that is what's underpinning this product, apart from the fact it's been sourced from 6 continents around the world, from amazing locations which I can only dream of. If I tried to put all of these products, whatever it is, together, I'd have to remortgage my home. It's already been done for me. I've just got to go and invest in the package. But that's how you get the numbers to align. So now we know how they get P84. 1 plus 2 is equal to 84 in the phytopower world because you raise 2 to the power of 6, which gives you 64. 64 from 84 will give you 20. 20 plus 64 will give you 80. Alrighty. That being said, so let's not pretend, family. There's an industry built to manage illness, not cure it. I'll say it again. There is an industry built to manage illness, not cure it. Inflammation is monetized. Obesity, annual revenue stream. Anxiety, subscription model. They don't fix, they just funnel. But here's the thing. Dysfunction is a two-way street. What they profit from, we can actually transform. Why do I say this? Because Love Biome isn't just about wellness. It's rebellion. A recollaboration built on what? Ethics, not exploitation, while they bet on sickness. So while we're dealing with recollaboration, big farmers are investing in our sickness. So we can actually lead the shift. We can actually own the future. So we're not anti-pharmaceutical. We're actually post-pharmaceutical. I say that to say, if you have heard something that makes you want to move, because change only takes place when you move. It doesn't take place when you stay still. And you are going through something, or you know somebody who's going through something, an illness, and they don't have a current resolution that is actually working. You can actually sign up as a customer to test the water. Because when you sign up as a customer, you get the products at a customer rate. So you could sign up for the first month, see how it goes, see how you feel, because when you get the product, it lasts you for a month, right? And then if you like it, you can buy it next month. If it feels like it's doing something, you can buy it. But then after a while, if you see that it's actually making inroads, why wouldn't you sign up as a member? Because if you sign up as a member and you know you're going to get it each month, you're going to get it cheaper. It's just simple mathematics. And then if you become a member, I guarantee you, you're going to start going down a number of different rabbit holes. And these rabbit holes is where you will acquire more knowledge about the product. I could not profess to give you every piece of knowledge about this amazing product. I can give you the maths, and I can give you the stuff I research, and I can give you some information that I've gleaned from many of the presentations that I have attended. But again, you have to do your own research. You have to dip your own feet. You have to get your own feet wet. I was a customer, and once I realized this was doing me good, I signed up as a member. And when you sign up as a member, that means then that you are now have a lifetime membership for one membership payment. Whether you're in the US, it's $25. In the UK, it's £20. But then it allows you, you'd have to pay that again. It allows you then, if you want, to share this information with other people. And by doing so, if it works for them, you can start building your own business. And that's entirely up to you. There's no obligations. So with signing up as a member, there is a possibility that you can build a successful business. And by building a successful business, you can travel. By traveling, you can also become financially free. If illness is your number one priority, you just focus on that. But I guarantee you along the journey, when you see yourself getting well, you are going to want to share it with those who are not so well that you know. All right? I say this to say that when you look at this, when you look at this, you have to say, look how much money is being made already. Whether you want to be one of their clients or not. Digestive health, 72 billion. Energy drinks, 60 billion. Fat burning market, 5 billion. Hydration market, 200 billion. And here's the caveat. These same people have told us that by 2030, the figure will reach $1 trillion. But here's the thing. This is what fascinates me. If they are providing us with medication that is supposed to solve our illness. Remember, our health is not mystical, it's measurable. Do the maths. If they can sit in their chair and tell us that by 2030, this market will reach 1 trillion and above, that tells you they're curing nobody. And people are just going to be adding to this. So there's more people who's going to get sick in the digestive area, in the energy area, in the immune area. People are not getting well and coming off the list. This list is being added to. So if my words didn't let you know that that industry is really about managing, then this slide may share some light on that this area of business is all about managing. And if we have a product that actually helps your gut microbiome to solve the issues, you're on a win-win. I'm not here to tell you that these products cure anything. I am here to tell you that they certainly help align and balance your gut. And when your gut is aligned and balanced, it works miracles on its own. So what would it really mean to earn 1,000, 5,000, or even 10K? Not from hype, but from healing. Not by selling stuff, but by shifting lives. What would it mean to stop clocking into someone else's purpose, giving somebody else's purpose away, and start investing in your own purpose, giving your own purpose away, which would help you to finally clear many of the debts that we have, that we'd be able to say yes to the trips that we see floating around. We'd be able to buy time, not just things. shift stress into strategy. Family, this isn't a gig, you know, it's a movement. It's a chance to build income that aligns with our integrity. And we don't need more hours. All we need is more alignment. So what would it mean to stop waiting for the stars to align? I ask myself that question all the time. And realize that we are the alignments, not the stars. Remember that. That being said, let me just stop my share. I just want to say, I'm going to do that. Stop the share. I want to say something before I sign out. That family, it's important to understand that the clock is ticking, and you don't have to wait for the diagnosis. This is a wake-up call, and it's important you take control. So don't just watch the shift, lead it. This isn't a side hustle. It's a revolution. The world's waiting for change. So are you ready to create it? Are you ready to choose your path and your own transformation? So if you are, and you haven't signed up, it's important that you sign up today. So you can either go back to the person who invited you to this presentation today, or alternatively, you can get in touch with either Laurie or myself, and we will guide you accordingly. As I mentioned, this is not a side hustle. All right, I'm here because I was ill. And most of the brothers that I know, they didn't come out here because of love. They came here because they were not well. They didn't come here because they saw some sales opportunity. Health was why they're here. Many of the women, the majority of the women, they have foresight. They're built that way. But us men, we usually attend these things, you drag us here kicking and screaming. So, and I'm here because, as I said, I was ill. But once I realized how good this product is and how it works, then, you know, I'm singing from the same hymn sheet, and I'm quite happy to go on the platform and share what it is I know. So to the ones hearing this for the first time, yeah, this is your edge. To the ones who've joined already, don't just take product, teach, bring others into the fold. Because as I said, this isn't a sale pitch, it's a survival pack, all right? Because if we don't talk about it, who will? And every one of you, your stories matter, your signals matter, your gut, it's your guide. So let's stop dying quietly, let's start living loudly. One gut, one man or woman, one shift at a time. So this is the revolution of regeneration. So each and every one of us, let's start moving. Thank you. And over to you.
Great. Thank you, Pi. Another great Thursday night with more information added on. So again, yeah, I believe coming for health, and then we see the benefits on how we can help others. So I thank each and every one of you coming. Again, if you are a guest, please get back to the person who invited you. All of the affiliates, affiliate plus and above, thank you for coming for the support. Again, each and every one of these training sessions or presentations, sorry, gives not, they're different for each week. So there's always something new added. So I'm just going to see, is there anybody in the room who has any questions, comments, would like to leave a testimony? Just put up your hand so I can see you, and then we'll unmute you. And if there isn't any, that means Pi did a wonderful job. And we do also have another presentation at 7 o'clock with Colin Brown. So we're mindful of the time, so maybe we'll just take I don't know, 10 more minutes,
What
maybe.
time is that in the UK?
Um,
That's about
midnight, I think.
midnight. All right.
It's
Okay.
it's 7 my time. Oh,
Oh,
is
okay.
that right?
What is it? Is it 6:30 your time there now? 6:20, something like
Yeah,
that.
it's 6:20 now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty.
So anybody wish to share?
Can I have hi, good evening.
Oh, great.
Uh,
Thank
I
you,
just
Judith.
I I have a
Can't.
simple I go through it the program listening and I know I'm interested in taking. I know what I want to take and um when what's his name? Wait up radio he was explaining and kind of explained it because the person sent the link to me in contact with her. But I interested definitely taking the product, but after I give myself time, I want to. It was thinking about it 25. I want to be like I have people really who I want to introduce to program, but I want to be call it more than a member, like to like a business. Well, I don't know how you put it. It's not affiliate, but I just
That's right, exactly what you are. You're an
but
independent businesswoman.
so after trying it, I want to do that to know that I like the subscriber not subscriber I'm just learning, so I just learning all the different types, so I want to know that I could bring people to be like a business running the business and doing
Is,
it.
is Judith
Not
currently
only
on
just
sister?
yes,
Are you currently taking the products?
I'm gonna take another one with which I thought I spoke to the person already. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the yeah. So I am interested in because I have people that will really benefit from the program, and I have like did my sister in Florida introduced her because she's the president, and she like thing like this with it to people. So first I want to do it for myself, but I want to get into it. I take a lot of notes. What I said, I want to do the business. So you were talking about $25 registration, which I talked to my person who said, so I just want to know what the $25 registration is just a membership on and like
Okay, well, just so that we're clear, because
yeah,
you mentioned that I'm not sure if somebody has told you about the session and invited
yeah,
you.
and she
Right,
put this,
right.
so I think I maybe could ask question if I just want.
But what I can share with you is that there is a membership fee of £25 if you're in £20 if you're in the UK, and if you're across the Atlantic, it's $25, and that's a one-off payment. And that allows you to become a member, and that will give you access to, you'll get your own website and access to the products and information about what the products has and all that sort of stuff. And you can once you have that, you are then in a position to sign up your own customers. But I'm sure the person who's linked you will give you that information.
Yeah,
We're more than happy to share that, but we want you to go back to whoever it is invited you. You go back to
yeah,
them, and you
yeah,
know what I mean, if and take that route. But they should be able to tell you exactly what we're telling you. That you,
yeah. That's what I want 30. I give 30 because I was thinking there's other way you can sell it, but I said it's $25. I can kind of afford that. It's not a
right?
problem. I to go higher instead of to just to start from that, right? Just
Sure.
to see according to how you explain it, it seems to be more detailed, and then maybe a step up instead of
Right,
just
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
yeah,
Well, here, this platform will always give you clarity. We will
yes,
always give you clarity. So feel free to come on this platform, ask us any questions you want, and bring whoever you want. Because some my colleague said, LJ, there are many presentations, and you don't always get the information across, or you don't always understand it, depending on what platform you go on. The same thing is said, but it's said in a different way, and you
I
get it
get
straight
clarity of
away.
what I want to get from
Yes,
here
yes, yes.
regarding, so I can know what to do and how to move. So thank you
Of
for that.
course, you're very, very welcome, and keep coming on.
I will.
This is
Who signed you up?
sorry.
It's all right. I think my screen froze.
I did it.
I
All
think so.
right. Yeah, anybody who's come on this platform today, if you found the knowledge useful and it's tangible, feel free to share so that you bring others. Because as I said to you before, you know, it's really important that we share the word. We share the word. And if there's people out there who are ill, then, you know, and if you're coming on here and getting clarity, then it makes sense that you can bring them on here to also get the same clarity that you believe you're getting. So yes. Okay, how are we doing for time, LJ?
It is 6:26. So
6:26 and still moving.
yeah.
All right. All right.
Yeah. So here, Pi and I have it as a late night talk show based on health and wellness. And we will be changing up topics. Just the month of May is, since depression is huge, and even more so now with the stats. So each week we'll be adding more stuff that we find that can be beneficial to yourself and to anyone else, you know. So please, every Thursday night, 5 o'clock Eastern, 10 p.m. GMT or BMT. So if anybody has anything they want to make a comment or ask another question, please feel free. We're gonna go off here in after who's ever next.
Beautiful. Looks like we've satisfied everybody's curiosity.
Yes, I think so.
Excellent. 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 Do you want to give a quick rundown of any of the other programs that are going to be running for the rest of the week? I'm not sure if you're aware of them. I'm totally kept up with all of them, so I'm not really.
I'll see what I can remember off the top of my so tonight at 7 we have Colin Brown, and tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. is Pastor John. Sorry, I got a pup here. The one that is my lifeline. Pastor John is at 8 a.m. and then we go back into the 3 o'clock time spot with Pete, and Pastor John, I think, does it again tomorrow night at 8 p.m. I believe. I haven't seen them. They all get posted in the Tigers group, so everybody can catch it there.
Cool.
Tigers group. Oh, how do you get in the Tigers group? Sorry.
How do I answer that one?
Who are you connected to? Who's your business partner, so to speak?
Her name is Margaret.
Margaret. Is Margaret, if you go to Margaret, because generally they usually have access to these groups and they can make requests on your behalf. So you gain access to specific groups, because whatever group she's attached to, you should be attached to it so that you get the same information that she's getting.
Okay.
So if you contact your business partner, we don't want to give you information and they're not part of that group or whatever else. So it makes sense that you contact her. Cool.
Oh, guest has their hand up. Or no, sorry, they don't. That's my little mouse.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Well, if nobody else has any other
Beautiful.
questions, comments, again, Pi and I appreciate everybody coming, supporting us, coming to learn. And we'll be here again next Thursday, 5 o'clock. And
Same time, same place.
say, yeah,
Same time, same place. Alrighty, family. Thank you so much for your time. Truly humbled. And we look forward to seeing you all next week. Stay safe, stay beautiful. Alrighty, take care.
thank you.
Bye now.